Hello everybody, my name is Big Citrus, and let's get into it. So today, we are yet again talking about the state of Apex Legends. Over the course of the last year, we've seen the rise of Apex Legends back into the dominant spot of the Battle Royale genre, and mostly gaming as a whole. And it truly feels like a contender for the top spot in the gaming industry right now. I've talked about things that might kill the game, things that could make the game better, the way the game is superior to other games. I've talked about a lot with Apex Legends. Some people have accused me of clickbaiting titles and say that, oh, I just say controversial statements for views, and perhaps even the title of this video is also one of those controversial statements. Let me just say this, so none of my opinions are misconstrued at all, and you have the 100% truth from me on what I honestly feel. I love Apex Legends, genuinely, and it is one of my favorite games of all time, and I do not like to see it fail, but I will never shy away from being honest about anything on this channel. I don't care what kind of sponsorship opportunities it costs me. I don't care about people being mean to me and saying that I maybe have turned my back on this game. I don't care. I'm always going to be honest. I still love Apex. I still love playing it, but we really need to talk about the electronic elephant in the room. And that is, of course, EA. I genuinely think that EA might kill Apex Legends. I'm not saying this is going to happen within a few months, within a year, or within 2 years, within 3 years. Obviously, no game can last forever, but I ultimately think the actual real day that Apex Legends dies will be because of EA. There's something that everyone, of course, really wants me to talk about in this video, and I am going to talk about it, but there's also some other reasons that EA might kill Apex Legends that you may not have thought of. So, sorry if this video isn't going to be as funny or as lighthearted, but I do feel that there's certain things in this video that I kind of just need to get off my chest. Because, you know, all EA cares about is money, and, you know, I'm a person who just does this for, you know, fun and everything. I don't do this for money. But first, let's hear a word from this channel's first ever sponsor. I want to say thank you to the people at The Ridge for being the channel's first ever sponsor. They make these beautiful, sleek, convenient wallets. This is my favorite one, Forged Ember. They make it incredibly easy to store your cash and cards, and if you're genuinely interested in buying one, go in the description below, click the link, and use promo code BIGCITRUS in all caps for 10% off your first purchase. Trust me, once you try this, you will never go back to a normal, bulky wallet. Let's get on with the video. With that being said, EA might kill Apex Legends due purely to lack of interest. Now, what does that actually mean? Why would EA ever get uninterested in Apex Legends? Well, there's this little thing called shareholders. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but recently shareholders and investors have basically controlled every single major decision that happens with a game's life. It kind of feels like what patches come out, what updates come out, the marketing, you know, just any sort of new addition to the game is kind of controlled by what people want to see in it, and those people specifically being people who have stock in the company, shares of the game, things like that. EA is absolutely no exception to this. Behind the scenes, people have said a lot of decisions that have been made for Apex Legends have actually been due to shareholders who have investments in the company and in the game. But Apex Legends is making a gazillion billion dollars, right? So why would it ever stop making a gazillion billion dollars? Well, if people can't play the game, that's probably a pretty good reason. So yes, of course, let's talk about the servers. I don't really have anything super interesting or controversial to say here. The Apex servers should not be in this situation. We all know how much EA makes. We all know how other games have rather functioning servers. Like, of course, other games do have issues with their servers, but they're not nearly as bad as Apex's seem to be. With this most recent Evolution event, we have seen some of the worst series of crashes and disconnects that we have ever seen in the entirety of Apex Legends. But almost every major update, there is some sort of server issue. Season 10 was a brief relief when it came out. Well, we didn't really have many issues with that when it came out, so kudos to Respawn on that, but you know, Evolution comes out and then we're back to this. How many people even remember the SaveTitanfall.com hack? Like, that was only back in July, and yet it feels so long ago because we've had so many issues. There is no excuse, we know how much money they make. They really should be taking the time out of their day to actually install some functioning servers, just install more, and really figure out whatever issues an update has before it gets launched. People will accept if an update is delayed if it doesn't break the game. With all of that being said, I don't think that that will necessarily be the death of this game. People love Apex Legends, it's still vastly superior to basically any game on the market, and with the real drought that we have had in basically competitive gaming in the last, 4 years, there's not a lot of options, so people will still come crawling back to Apex Legends even with the server issues. However, I would not be surprised if Apex Legends takes a similar path that Titanfall 2 did, which is death. I would not be surprised within a few years' time Apex was making even half the revenue it's making, maybe even a fourth the revenue it's making, and eventually it just, starts to stop being supported. Updates come out less frequently, servers aren't really paid attention to anymore, and EA moves on to their brand new project and tries to chase whatever trend the gaming industry has come up with next that they did not. Shareholders, of course, will put all their new money into this new IP. They'll get their big chunk of change when it comes out, and that will be the new supported product. Apex Legends is really good, and I want to see it keep it being built off of for a long time, but EA really has to start, doing the basics like having good servers. And like customer support, that's an issue, but we won't get into that in this video. When you think about it, I feel like the Respawn developers have done a pretty good job of like keeping up with this game and making sure that it actually is a balanced game and it stays fresh and fun. They've had some blunders here and there, but they've usually been doing a pretty good job, but they usually are getting held back by EA and what they're actually allowed to do with the game. So yes, ultimately, those are all of my points about how EA might kill Apex Legends. That honestly could legitimately be the future and end. But of course, Apex has managed to pull through some controversies that other games have not been able to pull through. But I would not be genuinely surprised if another update comes out broken that people will actually start to leave the game in waves because they cannot handle this anymore. I don't know though. I think everything will be fine, but I would not be surprised if this Evolution update was a seed that was planted for the eventual end of Apex Legends. Could be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years down the line. As much as I hate to say it, unless you're like Team Fortress 2, nothing lasts forever. A couple more smaller points I wanted to add is a lot of people were saying that this is actually not that big of a deal with the servers and there's nothing that EA and Respawn can do about it. At the end of the day, if they really wanted to and they have the resources to do so, they can install better functioning servers and make sure updates come out, like, actually working. But ultimately, I don't understand because Apex Legends is still making EA more money than anything else, yet they're not putting the money back into it. Perhaps EA knows that people will just keep coming back to the game despite the server issues, so they don't really care nearly as much. They've done a pretty good job with the esports scene on the game, so I would be genuinely surprised if anything happened to the esports on this game, because people still love this game as an esport. It's still significantly more fun to watch as a competitive game than most others. So to the people saying that, esports might be ruined, they're going to start taking up things like tap strafing, well, they actually didn't take out tap strafing. I don't think that's going to happen. I think esports will be fine. I think the biggest thing that will happen is just what happens to most games. A new product will come out and they will soak all their money and resources into that to appease to shareholders and investors, and ultimately Apex Legends will start to get left on the side of the road, alone and untouched. Genuinely though, what do you guys think? I know this video probably wasn't as fun to watch as the other videos. I know this probably wasn't as interesting, but I genuinely wanted to kind of just say this and get it off my chest, kind of with how I'm feeling about Apex. I still love this game, I'm still playing this game, I'm still gonna make content on this game. Some people asked me in my most recent poll on YouTube, am I getting bored of Apex Legends? Not at all. Not getting bored of this game even a little bit. But it does make me sad to see this whole server thing happen, and I genuinely hope that EA really steps their game up because Apex Legends could last for an incredibly long time, and I want it to. But hey, I'm not some shareholder in Silicon Valley soaking millions of dollars into this game, so my opinion probably doesn't matter as much, but hopefully you guys agree with me. Honestly, as long as I got the support of y'all, that's really all that matters. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you are a fan of the channel or you like this video at all, please subscribe and go watch the other videos I made on Apex to kind of get more insight, I feel like, into the situation. I'm going to start streaming a whole hell of a lot soon, coming within the following week, so make sure you tap the bell icon so you don't miss streams or new videos that come out. Thank you guys for the support. Follow my Twitter, Instagram, and join my community Discord in the Linktree link in the description below, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully Apex lasts forever. Hopefully I'll see y'all on the other side, and have a damn good one.